Undercover Underage is a new Discovery Plus series where Roo Powell goes undercover as a teenager in order to capture predators who are going after teenagers on the internet. Roo, thank you so much for joining me today. Tell us a little bit about your role in this and what we're going to see in the series.
Yeah, so Undercover Underage is a docuseries that documents me and my nonprofit SOSA and the work that we do to combat online sex abuse and predation. That includes putting decoys online to identify bad actors on the internet. And because of that, we are transforming into a teenage girl, a believable teenage girl, in order to do that.
Now, as a mother yourself, what was something that maybe you didn't maybe necessarily realize before getting yourself involved in this work, and a message that you want all parents to know after working on this series?
I think it's important for parents and everyone to know that the people who would harm a child, they're not the boogeyman or the monster under the bed or whatever caricature we might have in mind of what a bad guy might be. They are everyday people. Some of them are conventionally attractive. They are the people that do your taxes or teach your kids or live in your neighborhood or go grocery shopping with you, which I think is the most harrowing part of it, because you feel like you kind of can have a gut feeling about a person, and to know that some of these people are, family men having dinner with their kids and helping them with their homework and then going online to talk to minors, that's really disconcerting.
I mean, especially, me growing up, obviously in a different time, but it was watch out for the person offering you candy in a card, stay away, from this particular person. But with the internet, I mean, anybody can reach out to anybody in any given space. How have you seen, a particular, especially the rise of TikTok and Instagram during the pandemic, because people weren't able to go out, these cases rising and, exponentially?
Yeah, certainly there's been an uptick because, well, first of all, a lot of these perpetrators that might have 9 to 5s are now working from home, right? And they have more access, and kids that are isolated and alienated at home have more internet access. And the combination of those two can spell for some, rough, the aggregate of those two can result in, some rough circumstances. I think what you said about us, having the don't talk to strangers talk when you're kids is just very different than the kind of conversations we need to have now. This is kind of uncharted territory, smartphones in the back pocket, access to the internet all the time. I think technology is great. I think it affords us access to knowledge and cultures and, interesting things. And we're able to FaceTime our family members from far away. But it's also an avenue that perpetrators use to target children.
What would you say that parents should have that conversation with their kids, especially, everybody wants to be popular on TikTok and do these dances and get likes, and maybe outside of their social circles of someone else, hey, someone else saw my video. The conversation that parents need to have with their kids before downloading, some of these apps?
Well, I think the biggest thing that parents can do, I mean, I know parents ask me, should they restrict access altogether? Should they take away the phone? And I'm pro technology. I think the biggest thing that parents can do to help prevent predation is having open and honest conversations with their kids. I liken it to the sex talk. You don't just have it once with your kids, you have that conversation a lot of times. And same with this. I think fostering open communication, especially about this, is helpful because all of a sudden a kid doesn't feel alienated if something should happen. They feel like they can go to a parent or a caregiver if something awry happens, and they're able to trust their instinct and go, that didn't feel right, or that person said that and I don't like that, and hey, can you help me out with this? Because otherwise, I think that kids feel ashamed and maybe even uncertain about what just happened because somebody didn't touch them in person, right? It was abuse that happened through their phone.
Are you finding the same things with young girls that you're finding with young boys, or is the young boys more in person as far as like maybe with sports or, with something like that?
I think one common misconception is that this is really limited to girls. And the truth is that regardless of gender or sexual orientation, a minor online can be targeted. whether that's, I recognize that you're speaking about in person, but even, heterosexual teenage boys can be targeted, and that can lead to, extortion, which is, if you don't send me this video, I will tell your coach, you'll lose your scholarship. I'll tell your teammates, I'll tell your school. And I think the whole point is that these perpetrators are very, very tricky, and they might go online and pretend to be a teenage girl so they can talk to a teenage boy. I think the wrong thing for a parent to do would be to assume that their kid is safe simply because they're boys. When, I recognize that I play the role of a girl, but it really is, not exclusive to any gender.
Roo, thank you so much for your time today. Undercover Underage Discovery Plus streaming now.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.